Welcome back. You're live on NTV Europe, broadcasting live to the world. And this is the ILFL Soccer Night Show. We spent the first segment talking about this, the ILFL League Cup, sponsored by Tower Hamlets Homes. Of course, this is what they were playing for. But now we're going to talk about the ILFL and Shanali Otis Veterans League, which is coming to a climax. And things were due to happen last week, and it didn't quite fall into place for at least one of those teams. But let's show you the results from last week's Vets action. Here they are on the screen for you right now. In the Premier Division, there were two goalless draws between Aberhany Beaumont and Sire and Bromley, respectively. Stepney blasted 9 goals past Tower Hamlets, who only could manage the hapless one. That was an academic result, perhaps, but the one that mattered in the Premier Division was London Tigers beating Weavers by 2-0. And what does that mean? It means that London Tigers are your Premier Division Vets League champions once again, unbeaten, undefeated, and well done to you down there in West London. Well done, London Tigers. In the First Division, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. Riverside beat the Beaumont Masters B team by 1-0. Shadwell and Revive played out a goalless draw. Bernardo and Redbridge played out a goalless draw, and maybe if either team would have got 3 points there, it would have wrapped something up. Maybe Bernardo's could maybe have cemented the runners-up spot. Redbridge would have made it a little bit more interesting, but the one that was interesting was Mostyn beating the St Catherine's Vets by 1-0. St Catherine's playing the entire season undefeated, unbeaten until they came up against Mostyn. We all know what a Mostyn team are like. They're hard-working, they're organised, and if you don't get your game right, you will go down. And that's a slight dent in the plans for St Catherine's, we'll say, Shacks, but yeah, it only a small blip.
I'm not sure if it's a small blip. Well, look, it's going to be a good test this Thursday, and I really think that now they stumbled a bit, they might stumble a bit more. It was a good game where everyone predicted it might be a 0-0 right at the end, but Mostyn scored a goal, and it was a really, really good game. But I think they might stumble.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Ooh,
they'll be nervous. They'll be nervous because of the last week's result, and I think if they can, it's battle with their nerves really, and we've got to see.
Let's see indeed. Let me show you the two tables for the respective divisions as they are on the screen for you right now. In the Premier Division, you can see London Tigers 9 points clear, and that secures the title for them. Aberhany, a team that got too many draws, can't keep relying on that. You know, you've got to convert them draws into wins, and that might have pushed Tigers a little bit harder, but take nothing away from the London Tigers. Credit where credit's due. They've been all conquering, all dominant and all powerful this season. At the other end, what happened to Tower Hamlets? 40 goals conceded in 12 games and in 40-minute games, 6-7 aside. Something really not right there. Weavers as well down there with them could only manage 1 win in 12. Some serious questions need to be asked, and if they're the two teams to drop down in the First Division, they won't find it easy down there as well, as the quality is beginning to improve down there, as we're beginning to see when we look at the First Division now. St Catherine's 29 points from 12 games. Effectively, all they really need is a point to secure it from their last 2 games. But it's interesting right behind them. Bernardo's and Redbridge, both teams have played 12 games, 23 points to Bernardo's, 20 to FC Redbridge, and those two teams meet this week indeed. What do we see happening there? I mean, Bernardo's, Redbridge have been the team really, I think, apart from St Catherine's in the First Division, because the season before they were down and out very lowly. They've come back, picked up 6 wins out of 12, and who's to say that they can't get their 7th against Bernardo's?
Well, yeah, it'll be a good game tonight, won't it? Isn't it tonight? Yeah, Bernardo's. Yeah, it'll be a good game tonight, and yeah, again, the nerves are, it will be against it tonight. If they can keep the nerves and they play how they did the whole season, I think they get through it.
It is indeed, because as we can see from the fixtures to take place in the First Division, if you look on the screen now, we can talk about what's going to happen in that First Division. Bernardo's, if they can get 3 points against the Revive Legends, then they will effectively secure that second place, albeit mathematically the permutations. But if they can get that, that will do for them, and that's why Redbridge really needed the 3 points against them last time round. Because as you can see, Redbridge come up against St Catherine's on Thursday. St Catherine's needed a point to secure the championship. FC Redbridge needed 3 points to stay in the hunt with Barnardo's, hoping that something goes wrong with Barnardo's. Revive can get a result against Barnardo's tonight, can't they?
Yeah, they can. Of course they can. But then the Redbridge got a big toll against St Catherine's, and this is the best chance for Redbridge to go and get results, because St Catherine's did stumble last week, and if they wanted to get a result, this is the best week to get it.
It is indeed. So remember, there are the 2 games taking place at Stepney this evening. We're going to go down there afterwards and have a look and see what's going on. And then the all-important games happening this Thursday as well. I should also remind you, like I said, in the first section of the show, we spoke about this cup, the League Cup, sponsored by Tower Hamlets Homes. We are going to do the draw for the ILFL Challenge Cup. We have a preliminary round for that as well. That's taking place on the 15th of November. Remember, that is just for the first and second division teams. So those teams in those divisions, they're the ones now where you're looking. You don't have to worry about the big boys in the Prem. This is something that you might be able to take all by yourselves. And Shaquille, already looking at what's happened in the League Cup, we're talking about the Crusaders, the Walthamstow Red Stars, the Robin Hood Tigers. That could be an evenly more contested trophy to go for.
The Ace as well, the Beaumont Youth as well, they did well last year. They have a different team this year around. But yeah, I think they will try and take some kind of confidence from this chance they have right now. Yeah, absolutely.
It will indeed. Now, what we'll find, there will be a prelim round for that, and what that means ultimately is that the bottom 6 teams in Division 2 will play off against each other. So those 6 teams will play 3 ties, which will be played on the 15th of November. And then the 3 winners of those ties ultimately will then go into the first round proper, where all the remaining first and second division teams will take part in a draw to decide what the matchups will be and the first round proper of that. So we're going to be doing that amongst ourselves. I get to draw names out of a hat. I've never had to do that on this show, so I get to do that today. So I'm happy. Between me and Shaquille, we'll sort out who plays who in that. Before we do that, let's have a look at fixtures to take place this week and have a little look at what's to come. We're looking at mouth-watering fixtures in the Premier Division this Sunday. Hawk and Eagle take on Leytonstone. London Tigers take on Reach Out. Now there's a matchup to talk about. Lotus take on Bromley and West End take on Beaumont. And Shaquille, I'm going to turn to you first and talk about Bromley and talk about the Bromley side and the kind of season they're having. A bit mixed fortune. It stuttered and spluttered to begin with, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't start off really well. There was poor start. They're yet to win a league game. I think they drew 1 out of the last couple of games they played. The only thing they can do is take the confidence from the cup game they had this week. They won 8-1 against not an easy team, a lot of the really physical team.
Well, this is what I was going to say. I mean, based on the league form that Bromley's had so far, I didn't expect an 8-1 against St Catherine's.
They did change the team line a bit. They tweaked a bit. They did get a few players they had missing for the last couple of games. But if they have the same team they did last week or yesterday against Lotus, and I think that would be a really good game, because there was a good battle in the middle, which I think Bromley did lack of that physical part of the game for the last couple of weeks.
So you think that's what it is? Is it players coming back now that will make the difference?
Definitely. They got a few players are different from last year. They've changed the goalkeeper, which can make a huge difference. They got more youth, but I think they lack of the physical part of things. And you saw yesterday they had a lot of physical players yesterday.
London Tigers versus Reach Out sounds like a great battle. Reach Out are showing they're not top of the table by luck. They're there on merit and by right. Coming up against the Wounded Tigers, we should call them now, who are coming back into form.
Yeah, I mean they started slow and they're gradually getting up. They won against Stepney Green, I think the week before last week. So that gives them a bit extra boost, that confidence as well. They had a week off. Both teams had a week off, so I think that would help them. That would be a good game, but I'm going for Reach Out that game.
With Stepney not playing and losing their last league game, they didn't play in the cup. yesterday.
Yeah.
They're not playing again this week, 2 weeks out.
2 weeks.
So now they're having to sit back, bite their nails, bang their heads against the wall and watch people go past them. If Reach Out get another win here, that they could improve the gap over them. If Tigers get the win, then they're right up there with Stepney. This is turning into a fascinating Premier Division, isn't it?
It'll be absolutely. But I think Stepney Green need to do a lot of training. You know, even though they got a day off, I think they should take advantage of that day off and that week they have. And yeah, what games they have come up this week.
It is indeed. Looking at the First Division, fixtures to come this Sunday. They're here for you on the screen right now. We have Ace taking on the Crusaders, which will be a good game, I think. Bow take on Beaumont Youth. Burdett take on Sighton. Seoul Youth take on Stepney B. And once again, one of the top sides not playing again this week in Robin Hood Tigers. Got themselves a good cup win. They can now sit back and watch other people battling it. They'll have one eye on this Ace, or maybe both eyes on the Ace v Crusaders game, won't they?
Yeah,
hoping maybe for an Ace win to just pick back Crusaders a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be very hard to knock off Crusaders. They are really a tough bunch of lads out there. It'll be a really good game. Sire, Burdett, both teams are struggling. That would be a good game. If can Burdett, you know, they lost yesterday, can they bounce back?
And Seoul Youth v Stepney, that's a real interesting stuff because both teams who can really make inroads into the top 2 or 3 places.
Yeah, absolutely. Seoul, they didn't play yesterday, so they got a week off, so they'll all be fresh and ready to go.
But Stepney B are on a roll, winning games and winning good games as well, winning them quite well. So that's going to be a little bit of a clash there in the First Division. Maybe sort out who's going to be up there chasing behind Ace as well. And into the Second Division, just very quickly, we can have a look at the fixtures taking place this Sunday in the Second Division. If we have a look on the screen now, AMY taking on Walthamstow Red Star. I think that's a good game there. The Fish Islanders are taking on Arsenal. PYO take on Redcoat. St Catherine's are against Tower Hamlets. And West End Reserve against Riverside. I think it was mentioned earlier in the show a couple of weeks ago, AMY, that they're a good team up against a Walthamstow Red Star team who are winning, and just keep on winning and don't seem to be caught, really. We look at the tables there in the Second Division, you can see that Red Star are 5 points clear of everybody else. So what does that then mean for AMY? Only 2 wins out of the 5. Can they get something from Walthamstow?
Well, they have to try the other team to stop scoring, and they got to be in the defensive line and have a good back 4. They can't stop scoring. I wonder what the magic is.
We spoke to them last week. 38 goals in 5 games. It is phenomenal. But they're up against AMY, who surely, even though they've lost the game, they're going to feel bitter when you lose a game by a goal. It hurts a little bit, and to lose to a Premier Division side, but they can take some credit that they scored 3 goals against a Prem team.
Yeah, of course they can show that they can battle with the top guys. And what about the Arsenal guys? You know, I'm worried about the form. 1 week they win, 1 week they lose. What kind of team are they going to put out next week?
Exactly, as well, you know, and for them to turn around and get themselves such a great cup win, I mean, can you take that into the league? Arsenal, we want to know, can you take that into the league? Have we heard that before? Cup form, league form? Let's not talk about you guys. Let's get you in the studio one day, one of these Monday nights, and let's talk about you and how it's going for you and what is happening with you. Why is your form on a weekly basis so up and down, as it is for so many teams? But hey, whoever you're playing and wherever you're going this Sunday, good luck to all of you. We love coming in here and talking about it because it's about what you do on a Sunday that makes it so exciting for us in here on a Monday night. Still to come, we have the cup draw for the ILFL Challenge Cup. Me and Shaquille get to sort out the matchups between 6 teams. That's coming up right after this short break.